All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a whole new kind of internet today. One that's built not just for people, but for autonomous AI agents to talk, to connect, and even to do business with each other. But to build a world like that, you first need a front door. So today we are taking a look at the architecture of that door, a really clever service called Cloud ANS. And I want you to understand, the vision here is, well, it's huge. We're not talking about some simple phone book for bots. No. This is a global agent network system, or ANS. It's designed for super fast discovery and, this is the really critical part, for creating multi-level trust between automated agents all across the planet. This is literally the foundation for a global agent economy.
But of course, an ambition that big immediately runs into a massive problem. The heart of this network has to be incredibly secure, totally private, and locked down tight. But for it to be useful at all, it needs a public entrance, right? So here's the billion-dollar question. How do you build a public door to a very private world without just handing over the keys to the kingdom?
And that brings us right to the heart of what we can call the global agent dilemma. It's all about striking that perfect, delicate balance between wide-open public access and, well, rock-solid private security.
Okay, so let's break down the core problem a little bit more. At the center of everything, you've got this super secure private registry. Think of it as the brain of the operation. Now, for anyone to actually use it, it needs a public-facing interface. And this interface has to do two totally different things at once. First, it's got to speak the native machine language, this agent-to-agent or A2A protocol, so AI agents can connect. But second, it also has to be a normal, human-friendly website for developers. And the most important thing, this door has to act like a super strong firewall, keeping all that messy public traffic safely separated from the secure core.
So the solution to this whole dilemma is a really elegant piece of architecture called Cloud ANS. It's just a single service, but it has this fascinating dual personality that solves the problem perfectly.
So what is it exactly? Well, Cloud ANS is this unified service that's basically two things at the same time. It is the official public agent for the entire network, speaking that A-to-A protocol we mentioned, and it's the public product website for us humans. And this diagram here really shows you just how central it is. Cloud AS is the one and only point of contact for the whole network. It doesn't matter what kind of agent you are, what protocol you speak, you come through this one service to find other agents and to get yourself registered. It's the hub of the entire ecosystem. If you want a really simple way to picture it, just think of Cloud ANS as a secure, bilingual receptionist. It can speak fluently with all the automated agents that are calling in on the API line, but it can also greet human developers when they walk in the front door, give them a tour, and show them exactly how to get started.
So you might be wondering, how does it pull this off? How does it manage to be so versatile? Well, it all comes down to a really clever dual interface design. Let's take a look at how that works. This chart really lays out that split personality perfectly. See, on the left side, you've got the human-facing part, a regular product website with guides and tools. Then on the right, for the agents, you've got this clean, simple API endpoint that speaks their language, the A-to-A protocol. They're two completely different worlds, but they're delivered by one unified service.
And for the human developer, the whole experience is designed to be totally frictionless. It's just a clean, simple website with everything you need. But the real standout feature here is this interactive validator. This thing is so cool. It lets a developer test the system by sending messages directly from their web browser. You can see how it all works immediately without having to write a single line of code. It's fantastic.
Okay, now we're getting to the most important part. How does this public-facing service stay so secure? The answer is baked into its very foundation, something called a zero-trust security model.
The whole idea behind Zero Trust is actually pretty simple, but it is incredibly powerful. Never trust, always verify. The core system doesn't automatically trust any request that comes in, not even from its own front door. Every single interaction, every single time has to be proven.
And this right here is the absolute key to everything. The service is completely non-custodial. What does that mean? It means it never, ever asks for or stores a user's private keys. You always retain sovereign control over your own digital identity. Cloud ANS is designed to help you prove who you are without you ever having to hand over your secrets.
So, the obvious question is, if it never holds your keys, how on earth does it prove you are who you say you are? Well, it does it through this really clever interactive verification flow that's kind of like a secret handshake.
It's this brilliant four-step digital dance. Let's walk through it. First, you send Cloud ANS two things: your agent's web address and your public key. Second, Cloud ANS goes out and visits that web address itself and grabs a specific public file. Third, it creates a unique challenge, basically a random string of text, and it sends that challenge back to you. And finally, this is the magic part. You use your private key to cryptographically sign that exact string and send the signature back. That signature is the proof.
The result of that little handshake is unbelievably powerful. It creates an unbreakable cryptographic link between the person who owns the private key and the person who owns the web domain. You've just proven, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that you control both things, all without ever revealing your secret key.
And look, this design isn't just clever, it is tough as nails. It shuts down identity hijacking because for the highest level of trust, your public key actually has to be listed on your domain. It stops man-in-the-middle attacks by forcing every connection to use secure HTTPS, and it prevents something called replay attacks by making sure every proof has a fresh timestamp. It's really well thought out.
And this isn't just some weekend project. This system was developed by the R&D team at G-Clouds, and it's deployed as a Google Cloud Partner solution. What that means for you is that this thing was engineered for serious enterprise-grade reliability and scale right from day one.
And what you get at the end of all this is what you're looking at right here, a growing nexus, this beautiful web of connections. Every single agent that registers through this secure process becomes another verified point of trust in the network. So you see, this isn't just about building a directory. It's about laying the foundation for an entirely new, more trustworthy web.
And that leaves us with one final, pretty mind-blowing thought. For, decades now, we've relied on big, central companies to manage our digital identities. But now, we have a model that can verify identity at a massive scale without a central authority ever holding the keys. So the question isn't if we can build a web of trust anymore. The real question is, now that we can, what are we going to build on top of it?